What's up, y'all? Shadypeach here, and in today's video we are going to be doing a deck profile for the current format that we're in to kind of get everybody ready for set championships. Essentially, I'm going to show you guys the deck that I use to earn my promo, and I am going to be entering more set championships, so hopefully I'll be able to earn some more promos with this exact deck that I used last weekend. I know the videos aren't dated, but I'll try to get this video out as soon as I can to help you guys out. So we're going to go ahead and switch perspectives. So this is the promo. If you didn't see my previous video, essentially we went to a set champs, one of my locals, and we got second place, and we managed to get this promo plus 17 booster packs for our prizing. I have a couple more set champs, at least 2, if not possibly 3, that I was going to participate in with this exact deck. So this is the red-blue deck. It's essentially DKP's deck. It's got a little bit of my own spin on it, obviously, but he is the grandfather and orchestrator of this deck build. I will say that this deck, it feels like it's not quite as strong as it used to be. We're in a very diverse meta, which is both good and bad. It makes it very difficult to master the meta when there's so many different deck options out there, but it does mean that the game is much healthier because there's not just 2 decks that are annihilating everything. You've got Discard, you've got Amethyst Steel, you've got Steel Song, you've got this deck, you've got Chernadogs. There's so many different options right now, and that's great. Although it does make it a little hard to prepare for things like this. So I'm going to show you guys what I used. I don't know now that the meta, because the meta is constantly shifting like each and every week. I don't know if I'll be able to make it. So I'm very grateful that I was able to earn my promo at this point. I was doing rather well for the last few weeks, but now I'm starting to fall off at my locals. But I mean, it might just be these last couple times that I went. So it's just one of those things where matchups are a thing, and sometimes you get bad hands. So let's go ahead and go over my Ruby Sapphire deck. You guys know me. I'm pretty much Ruby Sapphire or die, ride or die with this deck. So obviously, first 4 cards shouldn't be any surprise to anyone. Arguably the best Sapphire card in the game. We have our Popsicles. I only own two foil Popsicles at the moment, so these 2 are regular. It's one of the only foils that I really feel like is just worth running in the deck, although you'll guys see I'll have more, but this is my favorite foil in the game. I would kill for an enchanted Popsicle. I would love it if they did that one day. So we got that. After that, we have 4 Develop Your Brains. So we have 8 1-drops total. The name of the game is all about our 2-drops, however. So anyone that knows DKP's deck know the most important things to get in your opening hand are one of these 8 cards. This is the lifeblood of the deck. It is essentially a death sentence if you don't mulligan into one of these 8 cards. We got Tipo and we got Sail the Azurite Sea. So there's many a time where I will put 7 or sometimes 6 cards back in my opening mulligan if I don't see this card. The only card I will ever keep, aside from anything else other than these, I mean, if I have one of these, then cool. I can then customize my hand with sharks or how far all goes or grandmas, whatever. But if I don't have one of these, it's all going back, save for one of 2 cards, and that's these guys. Especially Develop Your Brain. Essentially, if you open up a Develop Your Brain and just a bunch of not these, you can keep the Develop Your Brain to kind of help your chances of hopefully drawing one of these 2-drops. Because like I said, it's usually a death sentence if you can't find these 2-drops just because the game is so fast. That is the biggest weakness of this deck. Most of the time, you're good. But there is, I'd say, like maybe 20 to 30% of the time, you will not get one, even if you full send your entire hand back. And then it is rough. Not impossible. I've done it before where I've been able to come back, but it is rough, especially if there are any kind of aggro. After that, so that's the most, I would say, important piece of the deck is those 2-drop ramps. After that, we have our Visions of the Future. This card is broken. This is arguably what most people complain about currently in the Sapphire deck, is that if you top deck one of these when you're behind, this will find you your answer most of the time. And whenever I play one of these and we're top decking, my opponent lets out a big gruff because they're just like, are you kidding me? You found a way to find the answer that you need in this moment. So this card is definitely broken. Lets you see the top 5 cards, put one in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your deck. I'm sorry if you guys have already know all these cards by heart. I'm just kind of going over it for people who never played Ruby Sapphire and maybe want to try it out so they can kind of get the general gist of how the deck works. Now, something that I run that not a lot of other people do is this bad boy, Hideaway. So I know a major weakness in my deck is locations. And right now it's kind of hit or miss if an opponent is running locations. I would say the 2 most dominant locations in the game right now are McDuck Manors, which is something that I run, and the Library. The Library is a card that has 8 health. And it stops me from just willy-nilly destroying all of the cards on the field because they will be able to draw if they've loaded up anything into those libraries. So I run these because if I drop down a shark, let's say I have 8 ink and I drop down a shark and then I just play one of these, it totally throws my opponent off guard. I can recycle it with shark and I gain a lore. So sometimes just dropping one of these instead of getting like a Maui and slowly getting over the course of time, over the couple turns that you have, killing a library, sometimes just drawing one of these at the right time just is kind of a godsend. And they are inkable and they only cost 2. I know some people run Cusco, but he's a little too expensive for me. And this is another action. Like I said, you can recycle a shark. Also, a desperate plan that you can do with this card. Let's say you run into that situation where you don't run into any of these 2-drops, but you open up with a Popsicle and a Hideaway. After you finish your mulligan. I've done it before. It feels bad, but it is an option. If you play a Popsicle turn 1 and then turn 2, you hide away your own Popsicle, you ramped, technically, in addition to your ink. That is a desperate ploy. Like I said, it doesn't feel good, but sometimes you need to get to the 3-turn ramp immediately as after you get to your turn 2. So like I said, doesn't feel good, but I have done it before and it's won me games. So it's another thing you can do with these hideaways. So, and also in the rare opportunity that you're running fighting another red-blue deck and they're running the dime build with like Queen Diviners and stuff, this can get rid of their lucky dime. Those are not as common as we used to see, but they still do exist. After that, we have our Diablo killer. We have Brawl. An argument can be made to run 4. An argument can be made to run 3. I've seen people run none. I think that's insane. I think that this card's still amazing. It one-shots a Genie. It one-shots a Diablo. It one-shots a lot of really powerful Steel Song singers. So I think that this card is great. Sometimes I can just make use of one in my grave because I can just keep recycling it with Shark and I can ink the other ones. This is usually the most inked card I feel like in my deck other than Hideaway. So after that, we have Discount Hiram Flaversham. We have our Grandma Talas. This card is amazing. You guys know what it does. It basically works a little bit like Visions of the Future. I'm sorry, Develop Your Brain, where you look at the top 2 cards. One goes to the bottom, one goes to your hand. And she's pretty beefy. And she's a 4-cost, so she's a pretty good singer. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to open up a Popsicle. You want to open up a 2-drop to ramp. And then turn 3, you either play this or you play How Far I'll Go. Or sometimes if you want to be cheeky, you can play this and then next turn sing How Far I'll Go. So either one is a great option. If you're really eager to get your Shark out immediately, you probably want to play the How Far I'll Go, but just be careful. If you go all in on Shark and you don't have any other bodies on the field and they Zeus you, that's another death sentence. Like I said, this deck is a little risky. Its strongest suit is when people are not teched for it. Right now, I feel like a lot of people are scared of Maui Shark just because this is a very evasive format, is what it feels like. With all the Diablos, all of the Peter Pan Shadowfinders and Yagos. There's a whole bunch of evasive birds right now in the game. It's just all over the dang place. And there's Pegasus, so there are a lot of ways to kill Shark more than there used to be. After that, we have, I would say, another fan favorite for Sapphire. Oh, wow. They're all foil. I didn't even know I had all foils. That's cool. We have How Far I'll Go. This card, I used to sleep on this card, and I still say that in the first set champs with Rockstar Stitch. I was not running this card until my very last attempt at getting a Rockstar Stitch, and this card helped me get there. This card is busted. It gets you a card in your hand and lets you ink twice, essentially. And you can sing it. This is an amazing card. The problem with it is, with all the Ursulas that are floating around in green-purple and green-steel decks, it is very snipeable, so that is why the Grandma is kind of nice also. Just in case you do lose your 4-drop, you can kind of fall back on something like that. So, after that, we have one of our 2 win conditions, one of the most annoying and infuriating cards in the game. We have a McDuck Manor. This card is just a mean way to win, but a valid way to win. This feels like the equivalent of me dropping a Go-Go Tamago when my opponent has a full field and they have a guy that has 4 damage on him, and I just drop a Go-Go and I win. Or if they just Goat Bounce when I have full control and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this card is busted. It takes a lot of decks a long time to usually kill one of these, unless they, of course, they have like the Fox Crab combo. If you're fighting discard, this card is amazing because they really don't have that strong of bodies most of the time. So they might get rid of all your cards in your hand, but if you manage to establish 2 of these, you're probably going to win, honestly. This is one of my favorite things to play against discard. A lot of time they'll panic and be like, oh shoot, I have to deal with that, or I am going to slowly die. Amazing, amazing card. After that, we have our single target removal. We no longer have Maleficent Dragon like we used to, just because she's a 9-drop, a little expensive. So this is my single target removal, other than Hades, which we'll get to. We have Let It Go, singable song. Both of our Mauis can sing it. Amazing card. I honestly have thought about putting in 3, but I'd rather have a body like Hades just to do his thing. After that, we have Maui, Hero to All, arguably one of the best Ruby cards in the game, and has always been. I would say the only other exception would be Be Prepared, or the new Maui, the Maui Shark. Don't really need to sing this guy's praises. He is ridiculous. He can pretty much one-shot most things in the game, other than things that have evasive. This is our other location removal. A lot of people don't run hideaways because they just have this guy. He usually gets the job done. I'm just being a little risky and a little extra and running the hideaways. So, after that, we have the main win condition. One of the most busted Ruby cards. We have Maui, Hero, or I'm sorry, Half Shark. This guy is ridiculous. He's got 3 busted abilities. He's evasive. He gains a lore every time you play an action, and he returns an action back to your hand anytime he challenges something. So he is a very powerful body too. He's a 7/5. He only quests for 1, but that doesn't matter because when you have one of these established on the field, it freezes the game. It slows the game down unless of course your opponent has the out. So that's what I'm talking about right now. This deck isn't quite as strong as it used to be because most people did not main a lot of the outs to Maui Shark, but because Ruby Sapphire kind of took a hit with the Hiram ban, a lot of people fell back into the Maui Shark, like yours truly. So a lot of people are running things like Zeus, or We Don't Talk About Bruno, or, you know, just other things like Tremaine and whatnot to deal with Maui Shark. So, but if they don't have the out and you establish one of these guys, you're sitting pretty, especially if you have a lot of actions in your hand and they don't peat you. So it's kind of a risky maneuver, but it's a little dance you kind of have to do with your opponent and make them kind of waste the out a lot of the time. This card is a lifesaver. We have a Pirate's Life. Guys should know what this does. It's a sing it together song. Basically subtracts 2 lore from them, gives 2 lore to you. And if you have a Maui Shark on the field, you gain a lore for just playing it. It's a sing together, so you can sing it with your Maui and your Tipo, or your Grandma Tala and your Tipo. I mean the little Maui. Obviously, the big Maui can sing this by themselves. Some people run 4. I do find that sometimes this is a little bit of a dead draw. I tried cutting it down to 2, but it's so important near the end of the game. It's so important. So inking it, having 3 and inking 1 doesn't feel too bad. Inking 2, oh, that hurts. Because this is one of your win conditions. This with Shark. Same thing with Manor. Inking Manor feels really bad, but, you know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. All right. Hiram Flaversham is banned, so we don't really have a dedicated draw engine anymore. However, that's where this guy comes in. This is the newest Sapphire card that hit the deck. We have Tamatoa, Happy as a Clam. This guy is amazing. Again, an argument could be made to run 4. I run 3 because I feel like that's plenty. He recycles our popsicles, and that is it. Only popsicles. So that's why I only run 3, because I just have the 4 popsicles. And this guy's a decent body. He's not too shabby. He's a 6 cost. He's lures for 2. So a lot of time, if I'm like in the thick of it and I draw this guy mid-game, it's great because it kind of gets me back into the game by drawing those popsicles. So an amazing card altogether. This, I know a lot of people have been like selling these. They're not as powerful as they used to be when like Dime and like all these other item builds of Sapphire Coil were around. But I still feel like this guy is extremely necessary in all future iterations of Sapphire. So selling this guy right now, I think would be a mistake. And I think Sapphire will get stronger over time and more items will be made. After that, we have the scariest Ruby card in the game. I think I've said that 3 times now, but this one, I mean it for real. This is the card everyone hates, except for me. I love this card. This card keeps me in the game, and it is Steel Song's worst nightmare, Be Prepared. Arguably one of the best villain songs in the entirety of Disney. I would say Hellfire is probably my favorite, but they haven't made Hellfire yet. I don't know if they will make Hellfire, because Hunchback of Notre Dame is kind of a little bit of a controversial movie with religion and whatnot, but we don't need to get into that. Love that movie, though. I think it's amazing, and I think they should bring it to the game. But yeah, Be Prepared. What do I need to say about this? This is your field clear. This gets rid of your Steel Song issues. You can sing it with your Hades. Yeah, I don't really need to say much more about this. This card is busted. It saves you. It does its thing. Be Prepared is Be Prepared. After that, we have more single target removal. We have our Hades. Now, this guy is mostly to deal with opposing Maui Sharks. Like I said, I feel like the red-blue deck has started to fall off, but Maui Shark is still very much a thing in Ruby Amethyst. So this guy helps you deal with Maui Shark if you don't have your Let It Go or a fancy little Be Prepared. And this guy can sing Be Prepared too, which does sometimes surprise people, and it isn't out. You can expend all of your ink to do everything else you want to do, and then you can have a Hades sing it. Or you can have a Hades sing it and then use your ink to establish a board after you play Be Prepared. Amazing card, and the fact that it gets it into the inkwell is both a blessing and a curse, because it does give your opponent an ink, but it avoids any kind of banish effect that they might have, like a little purple 1-drop Diablo lets them draw a card, for example. But if you banish it with a Hades, which I almost never do, I'd rather save this for something big, just using it as an example, they would not draw a card. It will not, however, have any effect on Rabbit or Goat, which I think is stupid, but, you know, it is what it is. So, we are good with that. And then, is this it? Yeah, the final card, one of the, I would say, best field clears in the game, just because not only does it clear the field, it establishes a body after that. We have Sisu, Empowered Sibling. Obviously, I missed when I could just shift this bad boy, but it's too many uninkables already in the deck. Astute counters will probably notice I have 13 uninkables in the deck. That is a lot. I usually like to go with 12 in the current format that we're in, because we don't run Fishbone anymore. Tipo is really our only way to ink uninkables, but it is so necessary right now, especially with the assertion of Steel Song. I feel like Steel Song is, I would probably confidently say, is the best deck right now. And not enough people see that. I think that right now there's so many awesome decks out there. Obviously, there's stuff that beats Steel Song. I just think consistently, I would say it's between that and Ruby Amethyst, which is like a tale as old as time. Those two decks have always been like at each other's throats. And then my deck, Ruby Sapphire, is kind of like, hey guys, I'm here too sometimes. Anyway, so this is how you deal with Steel Song. This is how you deal with Discard. This is how you deal with Pete, especially. This is your anti-Pete card. Now, obviously, this can't kill things like Pete or Shmi or Calhoun, things that you would normally use an Ice Block or a Sapphire Coil to kill, but it does establish a body that they will need to deal with, and it kills all of their little guys. And it quests for 3, which is a big deal. A lot of people see that, and they're like, oh, I have to kill that immediately. Kind of like the Maui Shark. What do you call it? The Manor effect. So yeah, that is the deck in its entirety. Astute people that were following along probably notice I run 62 cards. It's usually best to go with 60. The expert would probably tell me to just cut the hideaways, but I really like the hideaways. When they work, and they do work sometimes. But if my opponent doesn't have locations, then I just ink it. So that is the Ruby Sapphire deck. Before we wrap it up and call it a day, I do want to do a little bit of an opening, nothing too crazy. We're just going to go ahead and open up one of the Lilo and Stitch gift boxes. Got one of these at Target, and I have not had the best of luck with this guy, or with this product, but man, do I have some friends that just pull amazing on it. So I want to see if I can break my streak and actually pull pretty well on it. So let's see. We got 2 Shimmering Skies, Ursula. Oh, we did get a Floodborn, so that's kind of cool. We got an Ursula and an Inklands. No Azurite Sea. I've heard that Azurite Sea is more rare in this product than Rise of the Floodborn. I don't know if that's true. I could probably say all the ones that I have open. I don't think I have hit a Azurite Sea. I can't remember. But anyway, so there is our Lilo and Stitch. Been talking a lot in this one for sure. So we're going to work our way backwards. We're going to start with Shimmering Skies and then kind of go from there. Obviously, there's still more to talk about other than the set champs. If anyone saw the lore cast, we have set rotation now. We have worlds information. We have new cards that are going to be coming to the game. It looks like a Goofy movie is going to be coming, which I'm super excited for. That's pretty good. We got a Daisy Duck. Oh, that's cute. That's awesome, actually. We got a Daisy Duck and a Donald Duck. So if you don't know, these guys are kind of part of the same image. Not really, but they are. It says Daisy's date. He won her that bear by playing this balloon game, by the looks of it. So that's kind of cool that we would get them back to back. Feels like someone's messing with me when they put these packs together. So that's pretty cool. All right. Next one. Also, Shimmering Skies does look like it's going to be a part of the new rotation. So if you guys have Shimmering Skies product, keep hanging on to it, because that will be in the game for a hot minute now. All right, so we got Donald Duck, another Daisy Duck, Flora, Archimedes, Kronk, Taffeta Mutton Fudge, Merlin's Cottage, Amethyst Chromicon, Vanilla Von Schweetz, Ratigan, and a Mickey Mouse. All right, we're getting all the Mickey and Friends cards for sure. All right. After that, we have Ursula's Return. Let's go ahead and see. What does she have waiting for us? All right. So we have Jetsam, Gus, Champion of Cheese, Glean, Pluto, Hercules, Triton's Decree, Hercules again, Scuttle, Mulan, Ursula, RLS Legacy Cannon, and a Trident's Trident. Okay. Boom and boom. All right, Inklands. I do have some Inklands boxes that we are going to be opening up, most likely in the next video that we do, by the way. I know I said that a while ago and still haven't put those up. Just been busy. Set champs are a thing and just been getting prepped for it. All right. Next up, we have Moana, Cubby, Diablo, before he was cool, Pluto, Kita, Joshua Sweets, Jolly Roger, Montanue, Nala, Huey, Map of Treasure Planet, and Bestow a Gift. All right. So far, the best thing we got was a Daisy Duck. Come on, Rise of the Floodborn, give us something. Give us a Scar. Give us a Beast, actually. That'd be pretty cool. I know Beast will be rotated out, but there is a big reprint set that is going to be coming out with Fable, so there's a decent chance that a lot of these cards that we've come to know and love will be reprinted. If not in this newest set of Fable, at some point in the future. So, we can go over that more in my next video. We have Maurice's Workshop. We did hit a legendary. We have Fairy Godmother, Mystic Armorer. Ah, that's not the beast we were looking for, folks. We did a Maurice Workshop, though. That's kind of nice. So I will put that to the side. That is being used in the other red-blue deck that I don't really abide by. And then we did hit a legendary, so technically we do have that going for us. So nothing too crazy. Again, like I said, in these Lilo and Stitch boxes, I've been pulling kind of mid, but who knows? One day that'll change, I'm sure. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like. If you guys want more deck profile videos, let me know. I try to mix it up every now and then. Obviously, the main thing that we do is openings, but you know, every now and then I wouldn't mind doing some other things. So thank you again. Be sure to leave a like, sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.